Hey, welcome back everybody. Today's the big day. The secret update has been revealed. We finally know what's coming for Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And yes, I am Jade Monkey. So a lot to cover here. We've got a dev blog. We're going to cover what the secret update is, what it means for the future development of this game, and why you should get absolutely excited for the industrial update. That is exactly what's coming in. But more on this here in a second. Let's go ahead and pan over and show you what the major change to the development for Rust Console Edition is going to be. It looks like it's being shifted towards monthly updates, which is fantastic because I honestly think the time, like the 3 months, like I get it, but it felt a bit too long. You know what I mean? 2 months is about as long as you could go, and I think having it monthly is probably the best because that's the way we have it on PC. So let's break it down here. So it looks like the industrial update is going to happen in August, fully released, but also the testing branch. Looks like shop drones for September. October is going to be community server updates and the events, so Halloween. And it looks like quality of life is going to be in November. Very, very exciting for all of this. So what that means is we're going to get this very soon. Also, I should mention that industrial update, a lot of people know it as electric furnaces, but it has, I mean, you can already see by all the stuff here, a lot more implications than just the electric furnace. There's a lot that goes with it. So whether you want to go all the way or just go simple, it's got something for everybody, I really do think. But hey, just because we have industrial update doesn't mean these other things aren't going to come in, things like cars or minis. I still think they're very much on the table. So don't count them out quite yet. So let's go ahead and break down the dev blogs to see what all of this means with all of these new changes that have come through with this. Very, very exciting. Okay, so quick blurb on all of this. You've seen it in our roadmap, but what's the scoop on the industrial update? We've loaded this update with a ton of new exciting content for Rust Console Edition. This update introduces all of the industrial components you've been waiting for, along with the moon pool, yes, on the oil rig, fantastic, and the new nightlight feature. And of course, backpacks. See what I mean? Tons of stuff here. We dive into the details of each of these features in next month's dev blog, which we're essentially at the end of July, so we're going to see this in like a week or two. The full details, but we have a pretty good idea because we've lived through this on the PC side, so we know what's coming through. So just knowing this, we can piece the rest together for sure. Knowing these features, we know these features you've all been itching to see, and we're stoked to bring them into the game and update at the end of August 2024. So like we said, based off of the roadmap here and the change, it does look like we're going to see this very, very soon. So essentially, we're going to see this on testing branch in a week or two. Who knows? It could still be Thursday. But we're going to see that over on testing branch. It roughly cooks for about a month, and then it goes to main branch, also known as normal Rust. So we're going to see this very, very, very soon. So it's nice to see that they're keeping with that schedule. So this is happening very, very quick. And it was really nice to see that the moon pool was included with that. I didn't see the cargo ship changes at the harbor, but I think that'll be coming in a future update as well. So you can kind of see that you can now enter the oil rigs under the water there, and it's a place for you to dock or even just swim up with scuba equipment, which is very exciting. And the fact that they said they're adding backpacks is amazing, and it opens up the door because remember, like I said, don't count out this other stuff here like cars or minis. Having the backpack slot also opens up, you know it, parachutes. So I think that'll be in a future update as well. So you heard us say before that it was going to be 3 updates. It was going to be cars, minis, or industrial update. So obviously we know it's industrial update, but I think these other updates are very, very close behind. I don't think we'll see cars or minis this year, but don't count it out for at the beginning of next year. I think it's going to be moving very quickly, especially if we stay to this monthly rotation. So it's going to be fantastic. Okay, so let's break down some cool stuff you can do here with the industrial update and why you should be absolutely fantastically out of your mind for this. So first and foremost, electric furnace. Oh, side note, the input's going to change as well. Nice. So we don't necessarily have to worry about doing even stacks anymore. So for those of us in the console world with controllers, doing 1/3 stack splits, painful. So it's kind of good. We don't really have to worry about that too much. So as the name would imply, electric furnace is only electric powered. Does not take wood, which is great because that's always a major pain later on in the game. But you do need it for, you know, things like boom. But you can see here that it's actually cooking the materials. And with the industrial update here, we can select things like this conveyor belt and then tell it what to bring in. So we'll say like metal fragments, beep, boop, doop, 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 beep, there it is. And we'll add it, and then if we turn it on, it should take this and move it through the red pipe, and then to the blue pipe, and it should drop in this box down here. Slowly, but surely. Is it coming through? Are we getting it? Is it happening? There we go. Slowly but surely. So I know this all looks confusing. A lot of this is just to kind of show you what's possible. But it's really broken down into these simple elements. You have the storage adapters that can go on multiple locations, sometimes on a functional device, sometimes on a storage container. You've got these, you've got splitters and combiners, which is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's very similar to the electrical system / the water system. Then you've got the industrial conveyor, which, as you saw earlier there, you can actually select different variables, or parameters is probably a more accurate word, to pull things through, and then you can turn them on and off at will. So you can see when the conveyor is on, you can see the green light moving over to the right, and you can shut it off at any time. You can put conditions on it that make it very, very granular if you need it to be. So like you saw here, it's automatically taking the cooked fragments from here and then dumping it into this box. You can go one step further, and since all of this is connected here from the yellow container, I'm sorry, this container with the yellow line, you can see it's connected to this conveyor here, and so now you can start to empty other things out and then put it into this. Is it this box? Yeah, it's this box, because this storage container is connected to our comps box. And more importantly, for those people that have outside furnaces, which is virtually everyone, you can take all of your cooked materials, either push them out to the furnace, or when they're cooked, more importantly, bring them back inside. So you can see that this furnace is cooking metal fragments. You've also got charcoal there. So you can take all of this when it's cooked and then move it back into the base seamlessly. Isn't that fantastic? So if we bring this little guy up, I put a condition here that said take metal fragments and take charcoal. And if I turn it on, it's going to take those from this cooked furnace in intervals and move it into this box. So you'll start to see charcoal. So you might be like, that's cool, Jay, but like I don't want that charcoal here. I need it sorted because charcoal drives me nuts over time. I hear ya. So let's say this guy is the guy that's going to take the charcoal away. So since all of this is connected to this box here, you can see it lighting up. The yellow container, or I should say the yellow piping, moves here, and so we're going to say, all right, so this is the charcoal filter. So once we turn this on, it should take just the charcoal from this box and then move it to this one. Slowly. There we go. Boom. So you can start to see how, like, I know I'm guilty of this. Sorting and stuff in the base, I'm the worst, right? I always just come in and dump. My teammates will attest to that. But you can start to see not only is this a boon to productivity because you have electric furnaces, safer for your outside furnaces, your large furnaces, but now you can take things and sort them. So it has large implications for things like your loot rooms. Yes. Yeah, you can start to sort things if you want to. If you want to go that deep, you can start to scale up if you need to. Are you starting to get excited for this? Because it's nuts. So loot rooms are going to be changed, but think of this. If you have a way to move the pipes through small gaps or windows or doorways, as we did here, you can still make a bunker, and you can make loot rooms that you don't even need to go into. They can be super secure, and not only that, but also sorted. You can also make these filters pull things out at the same time, and you can put those restrictions on there or filters as you see fit. So you can start to see how this is really like crazy good for all things, base, defense, for just general everyday stuff you're doing in the game. It's awesome. So to kind of go down that route of bunkers or even like solos, you can have a tire. This is kind of like a mock-up. Obviously, this isn't like a full-blown setup here, but let's say this is a sealed bunker, and let's say this gap is more, let's say, not you can't reach into it and you can't launch explosives in there, but let's say you've got like a gap here, so you could have a drop box inside of your small base if you're a solo, and all the loot can be stored inside of the main protected area, the bunker itself, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And then you can make another mechanism to pull things out, making your loot as tough as it can be, or I should say as protected as it can be, as tough as it can be, right away. So you don't have to keep opening and sealing a bunker. If you've got this set up right, you can have things slide right into the storage containers and then right back out. So yeah, fantastic. Also, another massive part of this is construction. You can put this on top of workbenches. I'm sure most of you have seen this so far, but you can take different blueprints, pull different materials from a source box, and then have it craft automatically. So then you can start having people pool their resources to get the blueprints that you need, but nobody needs to know it. You can just keep it, and this can be like a request queue. So you're like, hey, I need an AK, no problem. You can set it up so this can craft an AK, and then that person can take it out. So they don't need to know it. It can just be crafted on top of. You can place 2 of these on top of a workbench. Fantastic. But also, it puts a more risk-reward system out there because these blueprints are loosey-goosey. So if your base gets raided, somebody could come in and just learn them, you know what I mean, and stockpile them. So it's got a plus-minus to it. And a lot of the old blueprints, so like default blueprints, I'm sorry, not old, will also be so you can place things like a rock in here and then have that crafted into a blueprint if you need to, because obviously those are all default. If that makes sense, so you can start to see how you can combine things like an automatic crafting system, protected storage unit, sorting and filtering system, a way to cook your stuff more efficiently and make it more safe. Because let's be honest, when you're cooking sulfur and it's outside, that's a risk. So you can start to see how you can take all of these different systems and smash them together to make a crazy base if you want to, but you don't have to. You could just use it in a very simple sense. You don't even need this automated system if you don't want to. You can just use an electric furnace because sometimes that's more efficient to use, right? You can start to see how our charcoal is stacking up here. And we have the metal from the different containers. So we can also shut this off so things will start to stockpile here. So yeah, dude, this is a massive update. I always said, like, look, I wanted either cars or minis, but a good in between now would be industrial update. And lo and behold, that's exactly what we got. So as I said earlier, I would not count any of these things out. I think they're right behind this other major update as soon as the next year starts. And because we have a roadmap, I think we've got a nice way to kind of finish off the year if things are nice and stable. We could even get some extra features inside of here. Like with our industrial update, we got backpacks, right? And as you heard me say before, if they can work in a parachute and a hot air balloon in one of these updates, that would be sick, right? Like if we keep getting like a steady flow of this stuff and we get some kind of verticality, some kind of air vehicle, that would be fantastic. Because let's be honest, that hot air balloon is not exactly fast, so I think most systems can handle it. Not think, I know they can. So as I said before, don't count these bad boys out. I think they're very, very close. We've seen so many different things showing that these are in active development. They're ready to go. As soon as they're you know, polished up and stuff. So I think we'll start to see them early next year. And with this industrial update, I think this is something to be very excited for. And if you haven't been in Rust recently, we do have Tugboats, which is a mobile water base. And if you need a good guide for it, it should already be up on the end screen now. Hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream / video or on my custom server. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye!